many years, and especially this one is your first 25th anniversary tour. What's the vibe? What's the feeling like? You guys just is this something totally different for you guys?
Just very excited, very anxious. We were originally planning to do a 20th anniversary, and when COVID hit, we had announced the tour back then, and obviously once that happened, we postponed it, and then it was like 2 years later. I guess we can't get a mulligan for that one, so we'll wait till the 25th anniversary. And so I just can't believe the career has been going strong for that long, and I look back and some days feel like it was yesterday. And we're just very fortunate that we've been able to continue riding this train and keep on doing it.
Well, 25 years is a stronger number anyway. I mean, that's a quarter
right.
century. So you guys are playing two full sets. Of course, the entire Sickness. Is it the original 2000 version, or is it going to be one of the premium ultra special, editions with all the extra releases?
No, we're staying true to the original form, so we're just going to play it in the sequence of the album. Just give the fans, I think the overwhelming amount of fans probably want to hear it in the sequence, and so we'll do that, and then the second set will be more of a shorter greatest hits, so a little bit from a few different albums. So.
Anything special that went in picking songs for that second list?
It's always tricky. We're in a good position. I mean, it's always tough because there's so many songs that we have to leave out because we only have a certain amount of time throughout the night. And I think we have some of those certain staples, of course, like Sound of Silence and Inside the Fire, but I guess I could say now because it's not going to give anything away after tonight. They're going to find out. But our newest song, I Will Not Break, that just came out recently, we're pretty excited about being able to play that one live, too. It's always fun to have a new song that we're really excited about to play for the first time.
Yeah, that was one of my questions I was going to ask. How does it feel to actually play that for the very first time live?
It's great because, we wrote it in the studio last fall, and we never – I wrote it in the moment musically in there, and David kind of improvised the melody and that. So outside of that, we never played it together until we got into rehearsals. We just played it in the studio, and we kind of vibed off that way. So once we got into rehearsals last month and we were able to get together, all of us, and play it, it was pretty exciting. Just heavy groove and just really fun song to play. And then once we got up here in Boise, in Idaho, a couple of days ago to play it through the PA and finally have some power behind it, very cool.
It's that song's got a lot of the feel, a lot of the energy from like the Sickness. Do you feel like prepping for this tour is going to have like an influence on upcoming songs for the new album?
I think so, because when I was digging through my memorabilia and all the archives and stuff for the Sickness stuff, for the Fan Zone, the Disturbed Museum that we have going on there, I came across some old demo tapes, cassette tapes that we used to throw in the cassette player in our rehearsal spot in the 90s and put it in the back of the room and hit record and just record us improvising stuff. So it was cool to go back and listen to that because it kind of brought me back to some of it. And so it got me more in the mindset when we were in the studio. That's how kind of the I Will Not Break riff kind of came out, because I was kind of vibing off of that time in the 90s when we were first writing, when we just got together. So yeah, it definitely had some kind of influence on it, and I think, like I said, it's just kind of really cool to go back and discover some of those things that were in the vault.
Okay. So, a lot of these tracks you haven't played in a long time. Is it particularly difficult to revive some of these tracks, or any ones in particular that were kind of difficult to come up with a new live way to play them?
No, it was cool to go back because, like you said, there's many that it's been so long that we've played because we're just limited on, because we have such a deep catalog, and we're limited on the time we have throughout the night with other support acts too. So once I got back into it, the kind of muscle memory came back to the playing, and I didn't really have to think too hard about it. It really came back pretty easily for me. And but there are some songs on here that we haven't played with John, definitely in a long time with John, because John came in 21 years ago, And he didn't play all these songs with us when we first got him because we already had moved on to the third album by then. So I think songs like Numb and maybe Violence Fetish were some that he didn't play often. It might have only been like once or twice throughout our career for him. So yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to go back and play those as well.
Yeah, I was touching up on the Sickness album last night, and yeah, Violence Fetish, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
It's just a heavy driven song, and I love that one.
Thank you.
So your cover songs, of course. I mean, some of your cover songs they get a life of their own. The Sound of Silence is just, a billion plays and whatnot.
Crazy.
It's insane. It's got shoot, where were they outlined? Shout, of course, and then Land of Confusion, and it's just they're memorable covers. Is there any in particular that you're looking forward to? You're working on anything?
Nothing that I'm currently working on. It's always in the back of my mind of wanting to do it again because I like the challenge of it. I like taking those type of songs, and first of all, I always look for something lyrically, usually that I think fits what we would sing about, and then I look at it musically. If it's something I feel that I could take it, in a slightly different direction, put our stamp on it, but still paying our respect to the original version, to the original artist. And sometimes there's more freedom to do that. Like we took the completely different path with Sound of Silence, obviously. But then a song like Land of Confusion, like you mentioned, it was the original version still had that syncopation, just done in a poppier way. And I just thought with that syncopation, it was easier for me to just turn that into a guitar riff and just chunk it up a bit. And, and Mike's drumming and everybody else put their stamp on it. So it's fun, the challenge of trying to make it our own and still, pay our respects to that original.
Did you ever hear from Phil Collins about that one?
No, I don't know. I'm hoping that he's heard it someday, but I'm not really sure on that. I know we've heard from Paul Simon on the Sound of Silence. I think I believe his first time seeing it was when we were performing on Conan O'Brien, and he was flipping through the channels and caught it, and then he sent out an email. He got our contacts and sent out an email, kind of giving us his blessing, which was a nice thing because the last thing you want to do is have the original artist say, "What the hell did you do to my song? You destroyed it." So, yeah, I don't really care about anybody else's opinions about anything we do, but it's always good if the original artist at least appreciates what we do with it.
Well, yeah, it feels good to have their blessing.
Right.
On it. So, got a couple thoughts on collaborations, a couple questions. Mm-hmm. So, is there anything on your collaboration wish list, dead or alive even? Anything you're hoping for, anything you're working on?
I mean, at this point in our career, 25 years deep in it, I would like to do more. I mean, there's been, obviously, we did Ann Wilson on the last album with the song Don't Tell Me, which was a great honor because she's, the queen of rock. She's one of the best female voices ever. But I'm pretty open, and I know David is as well. I'm sure the rest of the guys have, just once again, the challenge of working with a different artist at this point. It's fun to write and jam all the stuff we've done throughout our career with Disturbed, but I think it would be kind of cool to just really test ourselves now this deep into our career and see what we could do with any kind of collaboration, whether it's I don't care who it is, hip-hop artist, country artist, another rock artist. There's just so much great, talented people out there, and I would like to see what that end result could be if we just put our minds together.
So I promised my son I would ask this one, but because there was mention of crossover song that was kind of in the works, maybe somewhere on paper, heavy metal rap song, and that Kendrick Lamar was a song on near the top of that wish list. Is there any update on that? There's
no update. It was just obviously he's a great artist in his own right, in his own genre. And, we're open to anybody that we felt like just getting in that room and just seeing what would happen. So it also kind of started with going back to what I said earlier. I dug up an old demo from when I was going through the archives, and I found some riffs from like 1998, and I had this riff that I really liked, and it was just us improvising at the time, and we never got around to doing anything with it because we already had written Down with Sickness and Stupefy and everything for the album. So it was just left on a cassette tape, and I kind of resurrected that riff this time in the studio and reworked it with David, and I think when David added his vocals to it, it just felt like it's something that would lend itself to a potential good collaboration, and the song and lyrically, it was just a song about unity and just bringing people together, and maybe we're not all that different than the media or people may think that we are, and it just feels like it's screaming for a potential collaboration. So I don't know who's going to fill in that void just yet, but we have it in the vault, and we'll see if it ever presents itself.